Well, I just had to follow up on this because a lot has happened since the last video I made, and there was 500 views of the video, so I'm keeping people updated. Make sure this is live. It says upcoming. Okay, I think it's live. Okay. Basically, since the last video I made about the Kurt Cobain murder case revelations, a lot's happened. The website has been updated. They still have not released the interviews, but more clips of the interview have been released. I'm guessing, from what I've gathered, these people, it's a group of 5 women. Don't forget, it's a group of women that finally discovered Osama bin Laden. They are taking their time with this. They've submitted it all to the police and different private investigator services and things like that. A lot of people are trying to force them to release the video like right away and everything. They're saying they're taking money and stuff like that. I think they're just taking their time because they really seriously believe that they can get the parties involved arrested for the murder of Kurt Cobain. This is what the official story that they have just posted on their website today of what happened according to this Joe guy. Okay, so they're all hanging out at the house. A bunch of junkies and Kurt. Callie, the nanny, is with the guy Joe, and Joe's giving him a tattoo on his stomach. And Kurt is hanging out in the greenhouse as a way to, because he already knows that they have private investigators looking for him, trying to find him because he left rehab. So he's hiding out in the greenhouse. And Joe goes to the kitchen and he sees Kurt coming out of the greenhouse, and he comes and eats with him, and he knows what he ate, and it matches what was in the autopsy report of the last thing Kurt ate. And so all of a sudden, Kurt's supposed best friend Dylan shows up with a group of people. And Callie says there's private investigators taking pictures all over the house of everybody coming in and out. It's time to get out of there. Party's over. Shit's getting real. I don't believe that the Joe guy did leave. He was there with his girlfriend Bonnie, and I believe he did still stay, because he said that after all that commotion, 30 minutes later, he hears a gunshot go off. And he's kept it to himself to this day. That might seem strange to a law-abiding citizen, but I can tell you from personal experience, living with junkies in Miami when I was in my early 20s, punk rock junkies. There's something called G code, and G code is snitches get stitches. There's nothing worse on the face of the planet than being a snitch. Lawlessness. If you witness a murder, you don't tell anybody, or you're the scum of the earth. And if you're somehow involved, you go to prison, you get killed for being a snitch. So I understand completely, but he has not come forward with this for many, many years. There's a lot of drama going on within this community. A guy named, I've been watching him for a long time. His name is, John Perky. His name is John Perky. A guy named John Perky. I've been watching him for a long time. He's the Observer on YouTube. He's heard the whole interview, and he says he believes this guy Joe. He knows Joe. He knew Kurt. But he's deleted both his videos, and he said that he doesn't want to be involved anymore because too many weirdos are coming out of the woodwork. This guy, American Spy Fox, bless his heart, he's been making videos about Kurt Cobain being murdered. He's the it guy for Kurt Cobain being murdered on YouTube. I guess he was retired from making videos, but people kept asking him to say something about all this stuff. And I guess I read the comment. It was by someone named That Horror Chick. It said basically like, oh, I bet you're not saying anything because you're out of the job because the case is solved or something like that. And he's made 2 follow-up videos where he's accusing the people conducting the investigation who killed Kurt .org of being the person like harassing him to make a video about it, that they're like self-serving. And I don't think that was one of the people from the group making that comment. I think it was just some random troll. I don't think that they're really trying to get him involved with it whatsoever. But he's very upset. He's mad because he's friends with Kurt Cobain's uncle, and I guess for turning the stuff into the police and everything, the WhoKilledKurt.org group got the power of attorney of Kurt Cobain's uncle. And there's already been some shit with Kurt Cobain's uncle where someone came and stole the autopsy report from him out of his house and all this stuff. So he's very protective of him. But for some reason, to get him to get people to send him money, to get people to send money to Kurt Cobain's uncle to buy a new car, American Spy Fox gave out Kurt Cobain's uncle's home address, while at the same time telling people to leave him alone. This is all kinds of drama. Apparently, this Joe Burns guy, he first came around talking to a guy named Eric Blanc, who's a Frenchman who makes weird, kind of surreal videos about the assassination of Kurt Cobain that, to me, seem somewhat schizophrenic. But he says that, as I mentioned before, there was all these private investigators around, or supposedly taking pictures right before the shooting happened. He thinks that Tom Grant was there when Kurt Cobain was murdered. Tom Grant, the guy that has been trying to expose the murder of Kurt Cobain for 30 years. I do not think, personally, at all, that Tom Grant was there. I think Tom Grant, like, after the murder already happened, Dylan, the guy that orchestrated the murder, he came back with Tom Grant, but I think that there were several private investigators. And going back 30 years, you show Joe Burns a picture of Tom Grant. Tom Grant looks like pretty much a regular looking dude. He could say, oh yeah, that was one of the private investigators, but I don't think that it was Tom Grant. That Joe Blanc guy also says that there was a woman there in a red dress. Actually, Joe Burns and that Bonnie woman said they saw someone in the greenhouse after the gunshot went off, was there in a red dress. That's a big interesting update to it. I don't know. It's just there's so much drama in all of this, and I honestly don't think anyone has really any ill intentions. But I've been following this a lot since it came out because it's big. Do I think that anything will happen? Like, will these people get caught? It's possible, because these Justice for Kurt people are seriously taking their time, and they're doing this methodically, involving law enforcement. And I say let them take their time. I can see the interview whenever. Maybe it's floating around on torrent sites somehow. A lot of people have already heard the entire interview. And I just think that once the fog of war clears, we're going to get a much better idea of what really is going on.